There it is, folks. My first top 6 finish in the SRO GT Rivals. 6th place. Did not expect that to come out of today. And that's just a testament to, it goes to show to say that, I can't even speak. I'm so wound up. That was intense. It's a testament to just hammering out laps and staying consistent and staying out of trouble. So, quite the difference from what I was expecting. And even still, when the practice session began, Patrick and I were both running in like the top 30. We couldn't crack anything faster than like 25th place out of everybody. In qualifying, I did the fastest lap I've turned by a mile at this track. And it only put me 19th, and Patrick was a couple positions behind. He had a smoker going as well. So, still, outright pace, we're making gains, but we just don't have what we need yet. And, we know how to race. And I think that's where the real part of this comes in for us drivers like Patrick and I, is we're new to this virtual world. There's definitely a bunch of nuances that are going to make somebody's performance better than somebody else's, for sure. Every single lap I drove, I was learning something out there. I think I found some things that are going to help me with outright pace in the future. But, at that point, late in the race, your tires are shagged and you're just trying to, keep it consistent and make no mistakes. Couldn't really net that into more time, but, my delta was what it needed to be compared to my fastest lap. So race pace, we're right there. At the end of the race, I would say. We're there with some of the front runners. We've got a top 5 pace for sure. Big kudos to Tomas Lastri. He's from Champion Motorsports, and that whole group for putting on these events. They are doing a great job. Every race, they're tweaking the pace lap procedure and the starting procedure to try to help us all survive a little bit better, avoid these huge melees at the beginning. And they were very successful with that today. However, it didn't benefit me as much as it usually does, because if you can avoid all the crashes, usually by lap 2, I'm up in like 12th place or something. And today, after lap 2, I was in 18th, right? So I really had to hammer it out and race for every single position instead of pick up a huge block of them from attrition from the guys in front of us. And then also a huge thanks to all of the guys from Bentley Motorsport. There's been a big collective effort of all of the drivers working together to try to prepare for these races. Obviously, Patrick and I are 2 drivers from North America, and all of the others worldwide are racing in Europe. So we have different schedules and different racetracks we're at. So it's still primarily Patrick and I doing most of this work ourselves, but these guys did chip in when they could and really provided us some great info and some setups and some starting points that we could work from their Bentley drivers, from their sim racing pros. And it's been a nice collaborative effort. But still, all the work goes in right here. If you're not spending hours beyond hours to put in the time, see what works for you, learn these racetracks, and, try to get it done, you're not going to be making any progress. So Patrick has been awesome to work with. He is getting very fast on this sim. The delta between us now is mere tenths. So he's made a huge gain. I had my sim a couple weeks before he did, so I got a good head start on him, especially with his computing power. He got a new PC very late in the game, which has proven to be a big help for him also. But we're still working out the bugs. During the race, my screen is flickering. And Tomas is telling me it's because I'm live streaming as I'm racing, and you need to have an insanely powerful computer to handle doing that. I really haven't noticed it as much in the past, but it seems to be getting worse, and it's a big distraction during the races. So going to have to figure something out. Otherwise, Cosmo Cam is going bye-bye for the live broadcasts, because I'd much rather have a top 3 than, I hate to say it, than to have you guys ride along with me. But if it's going to affect the race, no bueno. And, thanks to Mr. Bill Byrne and our sponsor, Torxen, for all of the support that he gives us. He hears us vent. He hears us get excited about all of this. And he's had a lot of great words of wisdom for us to stay focused and stay motivated with this and, do the best we can with it. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we are here trying to provide some entertainment for you guys. Yes, it's fun to do the racing, and we are getting that joy out of it as well, but we're trying to put on a show. We're trying to keep our fan base engaged and entertained. We have not been racing for months, so we want you guys to remember that we're all out here putting on a show and having some great racing. Briscoe and Kenton Cook at the end there. We had some crazy battle going on, 3 wide at times, and dive bomb passes and letting each other through and retaliations. And then the two of them got together and spun a little bit right in front of me, and whoop, I just sailed right by. So it's been really fun. And like I've said in all of my social media, it is no secret how frustrated I have gotten with this process. But what I say all the time is I love driving my sim. I love the realism of it. I love the realism of the whole experience. But when it comes time to race in sim races and be as competitive as you can be in that environment, there's definitely a number of secrets and tricks and things that the sim racers really know, and that's why they excel at it compared to the real life drivers. But when then people ask me and say, well, if there's a bit of a disconnect there to be competitive, how do you feel about using your sim on a daily basis? And I say, 1,000%. I believe in having the simulator at home. I believe in learning the racetracks. I believe in the driving technique and the data collection and all the things that you can do and the services I've been providing for other drivers. In this time, I'm having other drivers work on their home sims, send me their data and information, and I'm coaching them remotely through this digital platform that I've put together. And it's hugely beneficial to keep drivers sharp and keep everybody on their game and learning racetracks and really preparing for when you get back out onto the race car. And if you keep that in mind, that if you're using your sim at home to drive and you're not using it to race, or whether you are or not, but if you're focused on the driving aspect, this is as real as it could be. It's phenomenal. So, I say as real as it could be. Obviously, it's not as real as it could be, but it's very good. So, don't discount the sim. We're just racing against a group of drivers that really know what they're doing on the simulator, and we're getting it figured out. So anyway, I'm rambling on. Long story short is we had a great race today, finished 6th, thanks to the series for GT World Challenge America for putting this on, thanks to Assetto Corsa and Kuno Simulations to, keep everything the way that it should be and accommodating all of these real-world teams and drivers that are now offering their input into how the game works and responds and BOP and all of the politics and everything. It's still all happening. We're just doing it digitally, as opposed to being on the racetrack. So it's been a great run. Next week, Bathurst, Australia. That is a track I have always dreamed of racing. And I was honestly thinking I was going to skip this round. But of course, now that I just had a top 6 finish, I need to get on the podium. So, I'm going to be putting in the hours this week to practice and do what I can to get myself prepped and ready to be competitive for the race at Bathurst. So, thank you for tuning in. Sorry I rambled for 8 minutes so far. But, finally a good report from one of these events. And I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you, and see you soon.